Hello, 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 and welcome to this episode of the Green Umbrella Live Lunch, which is, I'm sorry, it's not live. I'm pre-recording this. So lots of things happen in business, and sometimes the diary takes over and we all have to be in different places. So I'm pre-recording this because when we're supposed to be live streaming, I'm actually in London meeting some awesome entrepreneurs, talking about all sorts of things, marketing, sales, mindset, strategy, like the whole shebang. I'm going to be at an event where do you remember Shazami? So the guy that owned Shazami and sold it for crazy, crazy millions, I'm going to be meeting him and hearing about his story. And it's one of those opportunities where I just couldn't let it go. So I apologise. Please forgive me. Kim is busy with clients and also with a newbie to the Green Umbrella team. We've had someone new join us in the last couple of weeks, and Kim's spending some time with Nicola, who you'll get to meet over the coming weeks. We're going to drag her into live lunch, kicking and screaming. No, she won't be kicking and screaming. She knows it's coming. It's all good. So normally, obviously, we would spend the time with you, telling you all about what's new in social media. And to be honest, I'm recording this, it's 1:20 on Wednesday. So, just, a little less than 24 hours before we would be going live. And having looked at the news, there's not a lot of news out there right now. There's little things like Instagram are creating a special account for teens to help protect them. Some of the platforms are doing some work around removing or should I say counteracting content around self-harm. So it's all those sorts of news stories at the minute. TikTok have made some moves in terms of trying to fight off this ban that's been threatened in the US. So it's all that sort of news. What has stuck out for me though this time is I've seen sort of 2-3 articles pop up talking about like what the most popular social media platforms. So we can look at this in different ways. Like, what are the platforms that are getting used the most? What are the platforms being downloaded the most? And what are the ones we actually like? And it's really interesting because people are logging into things like Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and TikTok all the time. Oh, knock at the door. They're logging in all the time. But the time you spend on that app, a really interesting question I saw is that time you spend in app, once you've finished your scrolling, once you've finished looking at that content, how do you really feel about it? Do you come off Facebook thinking like, oh my God, all that content's just drivel? And the only reason you're going there really is to make sure you haven't missed anything. So think about like how you're using these platforms, how they make you feel. And if it's something that's not serving you, maybe just look at, okay, perhaps I need to spend a little less time on whatever platform it might be. Now, when it came to looking at the most loved social platform, TikTok came out on top. That's the platform where people are saying, after they spent a bit of time on there, they're feeling good. Well, TikTok is an entertainment platform. So it kind of marries up. It makes sense that would be the case. When we look at things like, I saw another article around like what the most popular social platforms amongst Gen Z. This is another thing to remember. Actually, the platforms that become our go-tos, they are different for different generations of people, although I prefer to say different cohorts of people. I don't feel it's always about defining it by generation personally. I think it's about where you are in your life. There are some, I'm child free these days. It's just me to worry about. My life is full of freedom. I can do what I want, when I want, where I want. I was joking the other day saying I essentially live a nomadic lifestyle and I have a base. So I'm in a very different situation to someone else who's my age, who's perhaps got a family where the kids are, maybe they're still at primary school. So they're still caught up in all the school stuff. It'll be Harvest Festival in a minute, won't it? And then we roll into Christmas, and then there's the PTA stuff. Like, that brings different set priorities. There are cohorts of people that are highly professional, they're really invested in their careers, and cohorts of people that are retired. Then we've got the, those at university, living the London life, whatever it might be. So I like to think of it more as cohorts rather than, Gen Z, or you're a baby boomer, so therefore you're going to use these platforms. So really think about where your audience is hanging out. Anyway, when it comes to Gen Z, because that's what the article was, you kind of automatically think of things like TikTok as being the most popular. But what came out was quite interesting. When it comes to Gen Z, YouTube is number one. Obviously, video content always leads. And we're seeing more and more stats around how younger generations, like when it comes to news stories, they head to YouTube to get the update. Okay, that this is where they're getting news from. This is where they're getting education from. I think a lot of us get education from YouTube, to be fair. But yeah, Gen Z, YouTube was number one, Instagram was number two, Facebook was number three. 67% of those that were asked, 67% of them were using Facebook. Then came Snapchat, then came TikTok. Now, I've just said 67% on Facebook, TikTok was at 62%. So we're really thinking about, there's not a lot between these platforms. So just think, who are you targeting? What experience are you creating there for those people you're trying to reach? And where are they hanging out, and how are we making them feel good? Just think about that. And remember, we live in a world now where having to use multiple platforms is the answer. If you're just using one platform, it should be a goal to bring on your second or your third. Okay, that should be part of your marketing plan. Don't just think I'm sticking with one platform and that's going to be the be all and end all. Most of us are accessing 4 to 5 social media platforms a day, irrelevant of what cohort or generation we're part of. So yeah, just think about that a little bit. The other thing that was interesting, I think we can all agree that X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, it's kind of lost its shine. I feel like we're all using it less and less and less. And when it comes to the download charts, definitely we're seeing X is just plummeting and plummeting and plummeting. People are not downloading that app the way they did 5-10 years ago. And Threads, which we saw have this kind of explosion when it started because of that link with Instagram. Threads, even now, let's say the interest in it has perhaps died down a little bit, it's continuing to move up the download charts. So, looking at that information, August 24, across the App Store and Google Play, we saw Threads move up into 6th position. Whereas, X is, let me just double check. I don't think X is even it's not even in the top 10. Like combined across the App Store and Google Play, Instagram came out on top, then TikTok, then Facebook. And what was I just saying to you about those apps being used most by Gen Z? What was I just saying to you about the platform that people love the most? So yeah, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, WhatsApp was next, then Temu. Kim would be happy about that. We know, if you've been watching this for a while, you know about Kim and her Temu shopping habits. Although I have just done a Temu order myself. Don't let her know. Don't let her know, because she'll be wanting to know all the details. Some green stuff that came up that I thought, that could work quite nicely as some little gifts or prizes for people. So I did a sneaky order there. But yeah, after Temu, then came Threads. After that, it's things like CapCut and ChatGPT. Snapchat's in there as well. But like I said, it's when we think about the apps people are downloading from a social media perspective, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, these are the ones that I kind of feel people are often discounting, saying it's not for them. They're thinking, that's a younger audience, it's not my audience. They're not thinking about the fact that when we're not in buying mode, we are using these other platforms. And therefore, maybe from the perspective of brand awareness, for increasing loyalty with our the database that we've got, maybe we should be engaging in some of these platforms just that little bit more. So that's it. That's a little insight into what's going on in the world of social media this week. Like I said, I'm off to London bright and early tomorrow morning. Those of you that know me know I am not a morning person. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm sure I'll arrive having had my mushrooms, feeling good, feeling fantastic, and wanting to socialize with people. If not, I'll just choose my state and make sure I am. Like I say, Kim's off. She's doing stuff with clients. She's doing stuff with our new starter. Friday, I'm speaking at the Team event. So if you're a recruiter and you haven't heard of Team, go and check them out. The Team Network over on LinkedIn. I'm going to be speaking at their solo recruiter event online at 11 a.m. on Friday. I'm going to be talking about, and this is actually something really important for everyone. When it comes to your messaging, you need to make sure that you are letting your audience know how awesome you are. It's difficult talking ourselves up. It's hard to position ourselves as the expert, the go-to person. But there are ways of doing it that don't give you the ick. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm going to be talking about on Friday. And then next week, there's all sorts of stuff happening. I'm all over that. I think I'm in Bristol. I'm all over the place next week. But fingers crossed, we will see you, all being well, back here next Thursday, 12 noon for the Green Umbrella Live Lunch, where we will be live and not pre-recorded. Okay, Kim will definitely be there for you, even if I'm gallivanting somewhere. And we might get Nicola on sooner than expected, so you can meet her too. Fantastic. Thanks for tuning in, folks. And again, apologies that we're not actually live, but hopefully there's something for you to think about in this. And I'll catch you all soon. Bye for now.